Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to help you get smart fast.
That's the idea. Quick insights, no fluff.
Exactly. And today, we're focusing on Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 1. We've pulled together insights from quite a bit, a YouTube fan review, fandom wiki pages, movie synopses, Wikipedia, the whole lot.
Basically, everything you need to get the core of this part of the story.
We want to unpack why this first part is so crucial, without getting you bogged down in every single detail. Oh, and hey, before we really jump in, make sure you check out the link in the description below. You can grab a free audiobook with your Audible subscription.
Oh, that's a great deal. Seriously, don't miss that.
Definitely. And while you're there, if you like what we're doing, maybe subscribe, hit the like button. It really helps us out.
For sure. Okay, so Deathly Hallows, Part 1. Where do we start?
Well, the biggest thing right off the bat is the mission itself, isn't it?
Absolutely. The core premise changes completely. It's Harry, Ron, and Hermione out on their own. No Hogwarts safety net.
Right, no professors to guide them. Their main goal, as all the sources highlight, is hunting down Voldemort's Horcruxes.
These bits of his soul that keep him alive, and they're totally isolated, operating outside the system. It's a huge shift.
Yeah, and it's not like the rest of the world is just waiting around. Voldemort's power is surging at the same time.
The Ministry of Magic basically just rolls over. The YouTube reviewer kind of jokes about the lack of resistance there.
Yeah. And even Hogwarts isn't safe anymore. It's fallen under Death Eater control.
So the whole magical world becomes hostile territory. Especially for Harry.
The movie synopsis really drives that home. Harry becomes the hunted. There's an actual order. Bring him to Voldemort alive.
The usual safe places. Gone. Completely vanished.
And then layered on top of this immediate danger, we get the introduction of this old legend.
The Deathly Hallows.
Right.
The movie calls it an almost forgotten bit of history.
And the wiki breaks it down. The Elder Wand, the Resurrection Stone, the Invisibility Cloak.
The idea being, if you master all three, you become the master of death.
Which is fascinating because, how does this ancient story connect to Voldemort trying to cheat death with Horcruxes?
And to Harry's own destiny, too. It adds this whole mythical layer to their fight. It's not just about survival anymore.
Okay, so the action. It properly kicks off with them leaving the Dursleys.
Which is anything but a quiet exit. All our sources cover this dramatic escape.
The Order of the Phoenix sets up this crazy plan with decoys, the Battle of the Seven Potters.
Yeah, the fandom wiki names it well, but it's costly.
Seriously costly. The YouTube review mentions how maybe the deaths felt a bit sudden in the film. Hedwig and Mad-Eye Moody.
And George losing an ear, it's immediate, brutal loss. It sets the tone. No more schoolyard adventures.
Things have changed, fundamentally.
Yeah. And that loss immediately brings up the theme of sacrifice, which is huge in this part. The tone gets much darker, like the YouTuber noted.
Following that escape, we get Dumbledore's will, which is just baffling at first.
Totally cryptic gifts. Ron gets the Deluminator the Put-Outer. Hermione gets the Tales of Beetle the Bard.
And Harry gets the snitch from his first ever Quidditch match. Plus, he's meant to get Sword of Gryffindor.
Which the Ministry promptly refuses to hand over. Shows you right away the kind of obstruction they're up against. Corrupt Ministry.
And that sense of the world being totally messed up, it crashes Bill and Fleur's wedding.
Yeah, that's a huge moment in all the sources. What should be a happy event gets shattered.
Kingsley Shacklebolt's Patronus arrives. Bam. Ministry's fallen. Scrimgeour's dead.
Chaos erupts. They have to escape again and end up hiding out in Grimmauld Place.
Which, as the reviewer pointed out, leaves them even more cut off from everyone else. Very vulnerable.
But Grimmauld Place isn't just hiding. It's also where they start putting pieces together, right?
Exactly. Discovering who R.A.B. is Regulus Black, Sirius's brother.
And learning the whole history of Slytherin's locket, the Horcrux, how Regulus tried to destroy it.
Then Creature's story, how Mundungus Fletcher stole the real locket.
And that it ended up with Dolores Umbridge, of all people, now working at the Ministry.
Which leads directly to their next big risky plan, infiltrating the Ministry.
Using Polyjuice Potion. That whole sequence is incredibly tense, both in the book and the movie.
Getting the locket from Umbridge, the narrow escape, it's edge-of-your-seat stuff.
But, as the wiki notes, their escape accidentally compromises Grimmauld Place. They can't go back.
So now they're truly homeless, nomadic. Which brings us to the camping.
Ah, yes, the camping. The YouTube reviewer definitely felt this part dragged in the movie. Too much filler, I think they said.
Yeah, especially compared to how rushed Malfoy Manor felt later. It's that classic adaptation challenge, isn't it? What do you keep, what do you cut?
True. But in the book, that period of wandering is crucial, I think. It really shows the psychological strain.
And the effect of the Horcrux itself, that locket. It's nasty.
It amplifies all their fears and tensions, leads directly to Ron leaving, which is just heartbreaking.
Oh, devastating. It feels like the end of the trio for a moment there. Shows the power of the Horcrux.
But also highlights the pressure they're under. It's immense.
But Harry and Hermione, they press on. Their resilience is incredible, which takes them to Godric's Hollow.
Which is just loaded with emotion, visiting James and Lily's graves.
Super poignant moment, beautifully described in the fandom pages. But
then the Bathilda bagshot encounter. Horrifying. Finding out it's Nagini in disguise.
And Harry's wand breaks. A massive blow, losing his primary magical tool like that. Talk about desperate.
Things seem really bleak. But then, the Doe Patronus appears.
Right, this mysterious silver doe leads Harry to the Sword of Gryffindor in a frozen lake.
Now, the reviewer might see that as a bit convenient, maybe.
Possibly, but within the story's logic, the sword appears to true Gryffindors in need, and Harry definitely qualifies.
And then the most unexpected return. Ron finds his way back.
Guided by the Deluminator, that little gift from Dumbledore suddenly makes perfect sense.
A really powerful moment of friendship overcoming that dark magic and distance. Reconciliation.
And Ron gets to be the hero. He destroys the locket Horcrux with the sword. Huge character growth for him.
Absolutely pivotal. And with the locket gone, they regroup and decide they need more info about that weird symbol.
The one Hermione saw in the book from Dumbledore and Xenophilius Lovegood was wearing at the wedding.
So they track down Xenophilius, Luna's dad, which leads them straight into the Deathly Hallows legend, properly explained this time.
He tells them all about the Elder Wand, the Resurrection Stone, the Cloak of Invisibility.
But then he betrays them, tries to hand them over to the Death Eaters to get Luna back.
Desperate move from a desperate father. Highlights the awful choices people face in wartime.
His house gets destroyed in the chaos, but they manage to escape again. Just barely.
And it's around now that Harry starts thinking, wait a minute, my invisibility cloak, could it be the cloak?
And the snitch Dumbledore left him. Maybe the Resurrection Stone is inside.
These ideas start forming, connecting the Horcrux hunt to this bigger Hallows quest. Hermione's skeptical, of course.
Naturally. But it gives Harry a different kind of hope, or maybe a different path to consider.
But before they can really explore that, bam, captured by Snatchers.
And taken to Malfoy Manor.
Yeah.
Which is just terrifying. A real low point.
The wiki details the horror of that imprisonment. Bellatrix Lestrange.
But then, another rescue, Dobby the house elf arrives. So brave.
Incredibly brave. Orchestrates their escape, but he doesn't make it.
Bellatrix kills him. It's absolutely tragic. His burial scene is heartbreaking.
Yeah, the YouTube reviewer felt Dobby's death might have hit harder if he'd been in the movies more consistently. Maybe a fair point on adaptation choices.
It's still a gut punch, though. Such a loss of innocence.
And the film, part 1, ends right after that low, doesn't it? With Harry's vision.
The ultimate cliffhanger. Voldemort breaking into Dumbledore's tomb and taking the Elder Wand.
Chilling. The most powerful wand ever, now in the hands of the darkest wizard. Leaves you hanging completely.
So, stepping back from the plot points, what are the big themes really hitting home in this first part?
Loss, definitely. Sacrifice, too. They lose people, they lose safety, they lose normalcy.
But friendship endures, right? It's tested like never before, especially with Ron leaving, but it comes back stronger.
Yeah, that bond between the three of them is the absolute core. And Harry's burden, the whole chosen one destiny, weighs heavier than ever.
And how did people react? We mentioned the YouTube reviews points.
Right, the pacing issues were a big thing for that reviewer. Too much camping, not enough Malfoy Manor action.
And underdeveloped relationships. The toxicity they saw in Ron Hermione. Strong words.
Plus the lack of backstory for non-book readers. Creature, Regulus, the Gaunts. Stuff that adds a lot of depth, if you know it.
Which is always the struggle with adapting dense books. You lose nuance.
But the reviewer did like the darker tone, the character growth you could see, and the loyalty among the allies.
And the book itself. Huge bestseller, record-breaking, as the wiki confirms.
Though critical reviews were a bit mixed, weren't they? Praise for the world and characters, but some criticism of pacing again, even in the book.
And some felt Harry himself didn't change or grow as much in this specific volume compared to others.
Interesting point. Wikipedia mentions Stephen King defending it, though.
Yeah, King apparently argued it was getting more adult, more mature, and that was a good thing. Though even he noted some convenient magic sometimes. Maybe lingered a bit long in places.
And the split into 2 movies, the producer said it was purely because the plot was just too complex for one film.
They want to do it justice, avoid cutting too much vital stuff.
Though, as the reviewer argued, maybe the pacing still felt off even with 2 parts. Hard balance to strike.
So, wrapping up this deep dive on part 1, what's the takeaway?
We see the trio pushed to their absolute limits. Isolated, hunted, facing immense loss.
The Horcrux hunt is brutal, and the introduction of the Deathly Hallows adds this whole other layer of mystery and potential power.
It sets the stage perfectly for the final battle, but leaves them and you, the listener, in a really precarious spot. So many questions left.
Definitely. Voldemort has the Elder Wand. They still have Horcruxes to find. The odds seem stacked against them.
So for you listening, think about those Hallows. How does that legend change things? Does it offer Harry a different way to win, or is it another distraction?
Keep exploring the series. The themes here run deep. Loss, hope, the choices you make under pressure.
And here's a final thought to chew on, building on that Hallows idea.
Okay?
If you had to choose just one of the Deathly Hallows, the unbeatable wand, the stone to bring back echoes of the dead, or the cloak of true invisibility, which would you pick?
Ooh, good question.
And more importantly, what do you think the real consequences of possessing that kind of power might be? Something to ponder.